Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood doc here. I hope med students are ready for class today. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if my voice cracks or just don't have the kind of energy that I normally have, please forgive me. But let's go ahead and get started with this. All right, the first issue that I read and picked up this week is The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 69, written by Joe Kelly, with art by Ed McGuinness, inks by Mark Farmer, and colors by Marcio Menez. This is the penultimate issue of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man saga, and you have, this starts out with the X-Men, but it ends up moving to the brother and sister that are daughter and son of Sidorak. And the daughter learns an amazing lesson in this issue. She learns about love. She learns that from where she has been all this time as practically as a god, then she sees the curvature of time. And in doing so, she feels that everything is unimportant. Nothing is essential because everything will just come back around. It's kind of like you buy a car and you know that car is eventually going to die. So you try to fix it, you try to repair it, but her original thought would be, why? Why are you trying to fix this? Why are you trying to repair this? Because it will be inevitable that it will break and you won't be able to repair it. Here she sees that love truly conquers all. Not love for one person, but love from one person to the entire world. Peter Parker doesn't go out there and put the red and the blue tights on because he wants to save himself. He puts the red and the blue tights on because he wants to save everybody else. He wants to be a hero and protect anybody who could find themselves in harm's way. So that's good enough for her, and she finds a way to bring Peter back. And at the end, it's not really a spoiler because you see it at the cover for the next issue. He becomes the Spider-Naut. So he becomes a Juggernaut. It's a little cheesy, but to be honest, it's one of the better issues of the story. And it's good to see Spider-Man back in Amazing Spider-Man. So let's wrap this up in 2 weeks, guys, and move on to the new series. So it's okay. It's not the greatest thing I ever read, but I don't want to throw it in the dumpster and light it on fire either. On the other hand, we have Aquaman. This is the 3rd issue of Aquaman that I have purchased, and this is the longest that I've read Aquaman in one sitting from any series that he's ever had. Jeremy Adams and John Timms continue to knock it out of the park. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous and amazing. And here you get to understand more about Arthur Curry as Arthur Curry at the beginning. Then you get to see him in his superheroics. And the answer to who took away Atlantis is what I'm going to say, is given in this issue. And the chance to meet that character is also given to Arthur at the end of the issue. But throughout that, we learn more and more about who Arthur is, that he loves his kingdom, loves his constituents, and right now he just wants to save those people. He wants to bring them back. He doesn't want them to be stuck somewhere that they have no idea what's going on and they don't know how to do without him. And this is just all-out action. Just amazing action. And he ends up running into Laurie Lamaris, who you haven't seen in years. And like I said, in the end, he gets attacked, and he has the chance to go meet this person who has taken over Atlantis. So, I'm sorry, guys, my head's a little bit wonky tonight. It feels like I got some sinus drainage. So these might not be quite as eloquent as normal. But an excellent action issue that kept me enthralled, kept me reading and turning every page. John Tim's artwork is just full of energy and pop, and it just makes you want to turn the next page just to see what's happening. So this art team and writer team, once again, have knocked it out of the park, and I cannot wait to see what issue 4 holds next month. All right, next we have Flash Gordon, issue 7. Again by Jeremy Adams, this time with art by Tom Derenick and colors by Lee Lowridge. So you get an Earthbound story of Flash Gordon here, where his father is talking to him about breaking an animal, breaking a horse in. And then you also find out that the destruction caused by the ray, the destruction of Ming's ray, caused the destruction of these Hawk people, who Flash one time called friends. But now they want to see him punished, because not only did Ming's world punish, but so did theirs when that laser was destroyed. So you see Flash get brought into a one-on-one combat situation that if he loses, he dies. If he wins at the end of it, then he's able to call for a parlay with the king of the Hawkmen. And then you get to go back to Earth and see that he and his father are talking, because he wants to go play football more than anything. He wants to make his father proud. He wants to find a way to care for his father and his family when his father becomes infirmed and unable to do it. So it teaches you so much about this character, and it's so much more than just action. This character's motivations are made clear. There's a reason why Flash is such an endearing character after all these years. So, awesome job, Jeremy Adams, Tom Derenick, Lee Lowridge, and Taylor Esposito. Can't wait to see what happens next. All right, Green Lantern Corps issue 2, again by Jeremy Adams, with Morgan Hampton helping with the writing. Here we have Fernando Pasarin on pencils and Claire Albert on inks. This issue here fixed, in my opinion, what was wrong with the first issue. It didn't feel like a Jeremy Adams book. It felt like a Morgan Hampton book. And in this issue, the action ramps up. It feels more like it would be at home in the regular Green Lantern series. You get to see Atrocitus. You get to see Sorrow. And they're all racing to find what is this gold-colored light that you see behind Sorrow here. It's almost like a wall. It's an impenetrable wall. And what is behind the wall? Well, you still have John Stewart trying to figure out how to pull the emotional spectrum back together, because it's been fractured by Sorrow. Now people are just acting out on their extreme rage, on their sadness, on their happiness, on their hope. All of these things are exploding because these things are not controlled. These emotions are not controlled anymore by power batteries. That's what has always controlled and helped to centralize the Green Lantern Corps, was these power batteries. And without the Red Lantern's power batteries, without the Blue Lantern's power batteries, without Sorrow not having a power battery, then it brings chaos into order. But you get to see all of the lanterns just working together. Everything is clicking. Everything feels natural. And in this issue, I'm sold on the series. I was thinking about, if this issue didn't click, that I was going to drop it, but I'm going to hold on for just a little bit longer and see how this first 6-7 issues go, and then we will reevaluate at that point. Next up, we also have a very, very strong issue of The Moon is Following Us by Daniel Warren Johnson, Riley Rossmo, and Mike Spicer. We still get the continuation of the story between Sam and Duncan and Penny, and they are trying to save their daughter, and they're trying to do whatever they can to get her out of this dream state so that she can come back to life. And Sam has always been a very angry character in this book. And in this issue, you learn why she's angry. And then she manages to find herself in a position that she can actually do something about it. Oftentimes, characters are not able to go back and confront the person that they harbor anger towards. They can't go back and fix that situation because that person is not there. But she's given a second chance to do this, and it changes everything for the better. But then, in the end, there's a plot twist that you don't see coming. And when you don't see that, it hits you in the gut. And then you realize that Sam's not the only one carrying something around. Duncan has had his own share of creepy, ghost in the closet, I guess you will say. So, as he works out his things and begins to go into his own little hell, then that's where we go from this issue to the next. So I think this is only 9 issues, so we're ramping up towards a finale. It might be 10, but either way, these guys just keep ratcheting it up every single month. Spawn is recruited by not medieval Spawn. Don't get me lying here. Mandarin Spawn. He is recruited by Mandarin Spawn. Look at that awesome Brett Booth artwork, man. The colors. And right now, it's still $2.99. Now, I've seen somewhere before some people talking about that it might go up to $3.99, but it looks like it's kind of a fluke and it goes to $3.99 for 1 month and then comes back down to $2.99. So I don't know if this is in anticipation of the tariffs that might go into effect or if it's not. So we shall see what happens. But to get back into comic world instead of reality, you have Mandarin Spawn, who is trying to bring Al Simmons over to his side of things so that they can go and fight God because they deem him to be at fault for leaving the ability for the dead zones to expand. And now that the power balance is back and all of the spawns from without time have their power back, now they can confront God and punish him. So, Brett Booth artwork, Todd McFarlane back writing the title. It's headed towards issue 400. I think Spawn is in a stronger place than it's ever been. So, looking forward to see what happens next. All right, next up is Star Wars Legacy of Vader, issue 2, written by Charles Soule with art by Luke Ross. And this is it opens on Tatooine, and we get to see Kylo Ren and Vinny, who was kind of a helper and understudy of Darth Vader himself. And he's trying to teach Kylo Ren about Darth Vader's plot. And more so, how Darth Vader overcame his own history. And one of the more interesting scenes is here. And Vinny says, you must have walked a path similar to him. But Kylo Ren sees the love that was injected into him by his family, rather than there being a slave like Anakin was, and being treated terribly by Watto, losing Padme, all of the dangerous things that brought Anakin Skywalker to becoming Darth Vader. Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo if you prefer, didn't have that. Why is he angry? That's what you're kind of trying to get down to, is why is he so angry? What twisted inside of him? So this is going to be not a hero's journey, but a villain's journey to see if he can bring himself to be more than he was. If he can go and talk to this hut and become even more powerful than he was before so that he can continue to bring the Republic down. So really, really great issue, starting off extremely strong, and I can't wait to see how it continues. Almost finished, guys. We have got Transformers number 18, Daniel Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona, and Mike Spicer. You get to see a lot of emotion in this issue. Emotion between humans and Autobots. Emotion between Decepticons versus Decepticons. You also get the combiners going at it with each other. So you have Devastator, you have... You have this double-page spread. It's really, really cool. And you even get to see Starscream fighting it out and almost getting the better of Soundwave. When all of a sudden we have Megatron. I still function. Megatron is just so cool. So cool. And that's not the end of the story, not the end of this issue, but we will take a look later as these issues progress. And unfortunately, as we march on towards the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's run as writer of this title, he said he's going to give it up after issue 24. So that's unfortunately only leaving about 6 months left before he steps away from the title. So enjoy it while you can, guys, and then be hopeful that we get another writer that loves these characters just as much as DWJ. All right, and the last book that I picked up this week was Void Rivals, and that's by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. And this talks about the Tryons. It talks about... It really just wraps up everything that you've been wondering. It brings the mysteries into the light and brings them out of the shadows. So you get an understanding of what the sacred ring is. You get an understanding of who is captured within the sacred ring. And at the same time, you get Derek and his father talking about why the ring should be separate, like it has always been. Why there must not be unity. So, who's telling the truth? Is the Transformer telling the truth? Or is Dalek's father telling the truth? Must there be no unity? Or must there be unity in order to stop a greater evil from awakening? So, if you've been patiently waiting for 17 issues for all of the answers, then this is all of the answers. And again, just like any good writer, Kirkland leaves you with a few more questions along to keep us coming back for issue 18 and beyond. They did throw in this Marvel must-haves. It's got Captain America 1 by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting. It's also got Spider-Man Reign 2 issue 1 by Carrie Andrews. And then... a copy of Phoenix number 1. And 2 books that we're going to talk about in other videos is Assorted Crisis Events, issue 1 by Dennis Camp. And who was the artist? Zawadzki, but it is Eric Zawadzki. So this is a new book from Image, and I'm going to talk about that in initial assessment in another video. And then a greatest hit is coming up for Swamp Thing number 37 by Alan Moore, Rick Vetch, and John Totalman, which was the original introduction of John Constantine. So look for those 2 to be coming soon. Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that, like I said, I might not be quite as eloquent as I normally am, but I hope that you still got enjoyment out of these reviews. What did you guys pick up at the shop this week? What are you reading? And what are you trying? Are you going to give Assorted Crisis Events a chance? Are you picking up the Swamp Thing 37 facsimile? what's in your pull box this week. All right, guys and ladies, take care, and I will catch you in the next video.